Assalamualaikum and good morning to Madam Hazaria. I am Intan Najihah binti Abdul Rahman and I am from Group 2. I will explain about an introduction and conclusion. The issue of poverty is faced by all countries around the world. Poverty refers to the condition of not having the means to afford basic human needs such as clean water, nutrition, healthcare, clothing and shelter. This is also referred to as absolute poverty or disease situation. Poverty line is also known as the poverty level. It means the minimum level of income deemed necessary to achieve an adequate standard of living in a given country. Hardcore or absolute poverty and relative poverty are the two types of poverty lines. The number of persons living in poverty is measured using a hardcore poverty metric that is independent of time and place. The line must be the same in multiple countries, culture and technology countries for the metric to be considered low. An absolute measure like this should focus solely on individual ability to spend and be unaffected by changes in income distribution. Then there's absolute poverty, which is defined as a lack of sufficient resources to meet fundamental human needs. On the other hand, relative poverty refers to a condition in which a person lacks the resources essential to engage in the typical and desirable life patterns that exist in a particular culture at a given moment. The word relative poverty can also refer to moderate poverty in different contexts. For example, a standard of living or income that is sufficient to meet basic requirements such as food, water, clothes, housing, and basic healthcare, but is nevertheless much lower than that of the bulk of the population. If everyone's real income rises in an economy, but the income distribution and the rate of poverty remains unchanged.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. My name is Muhammad Izzuddin bin Afandi and I'm from 5J. Today I will present to you about the effort of MASA. First, the Shared Prosperity Vision. The Shared Prosperity Vision is Malaysia's attempt to localizing the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals (SDG), which are to achieve inclusive sustainable growth with fair and equitable distribution across all levels by 2030, leaving no one behind. This includes using more bottom-up initiative and targeted programs at all levels of society to alleviate poverty and close socio-economic inequalities. This will be impossible to fulfill without a commitment to and knowledge of the local sustainability concern confronting the societies outlined in the SPV. Sustainability literacy implies demonstrating one's understanding of sustainability issues and their complex relationships such as company, environment and society, as well as having the necessary information, knowledge, skill and mindset to formulate and communicate sustainable solutions in relation to the economy, social and environmental issues that are currently being addressed through multidisciplinary approach. And that is what the Institute Masa Depan Malaysia, MASA, with the All Parliamentary Group Malaysia on Sustainable Development Goals attempt to accomplish by holding a 2-day consultation on Malaysia's second voluntary national review report on SDG implementation progress on the 22 and 23rd of July 2021. The consultation, which is being held in collaboration with the Economic Planning Unit, the Malaysian CSO SDG Alliance and the UN Malaysia Country Team, aims to provide a platform for stakeholders including the government, civil society and the private sector to understand, review and comment on the process Malaysia has taken to implement the SDG, to increase community interest and participation in localizing the SDG, particularly at district and local authority levels, and to improve community interest and participation in localizing the SDG. And that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
My name is Normarini Widat Binti Jeffrey and I will continue the presentation. So, Permekasa is a program, a platform towards the vision of Shared Prosperity 2030. Recently, the government has launched the strategic program to empower the people and the economy. Permekasa. The RM20 billion program covers 4 key focuses translated through 20 initiatives. The main purpose of the program is to increase economic growth, support business, and continue to place the people as the main focus in the distribution of aid by boosting economic activity in the country. The second focus in this program is to drive economic recovery which is a direct step to increase economic growth in the incoming year. This can be seen with the implementation of small projects nationwide worth RM5 billion this year. The tourism subsector is also not far behind in the radar of economic recovery initiative by the government. Economic activities related to the subsector will receive assistance in the form of tourism and services tax exemption, extending tax incentive to tour operator until the year of assessment 2022 and allowing deferment of monthly income tax installment from 1 April to 31 December 2021 given to industrial companies.
Greeting to Madam Hazaria. I am Nur Amnadana binti Ramli, going to present about benefit of the program to sustainable development. So the first benefit is about strengthen our democracy. As we all know, in Malaysia, disparity in income, wealth and access to opportunity are widening. As a result, millions of low-income Malaysians are unable to fully exercise their right as a citizen, resulting in a system with uneven voices. Higher-income people are more inclined to express their belief to government authority. In this case, institutions must efforts to end poverty and make sure when Malaysia of various income level agree on policy preferences, the policy outcomes substantially represent the worldview of the middle class and the poor. Next point is about end poverty increase Malaysia long-term competitiveness. End poverty also has a significant positive impact on long-term human capital development, which is a vital component of our country's global competitiveness. Children who grow up in poverty underperform in school have resisted access to further education and are less likely to be prepared for future high-skill employment. As we all know, we are jeopardizing future generation of employees who will be required to lead Malaysian productivity and competitiveness. By the effort of the organisation to end poverty, it constantly increases the competitiveness of Malaysia in the long term. For instance, children get to have a higher education, which increase their skills and gain knowledge. As they improve their life in terms of skill and education, it straight away will make them more creative and innovative. As a result, it leads to improving their standard of living by being employed. Moreover, the benefit is about strengthening the middle class, which is the engine of Malaysian economic growth. As we know, Malaysian economic strength is built on a strong middle class with purchasing power to fuel the economy and contribution from the workforce to boost productivity and growth. Because of the effect of decreased income, a growing number of nations are falling out of the middle class and into poverty. The effort to end long period of poverty brings a positive impact on human capital development by open access to education and training as well as good healthcare. As a result, people who enter the workforce, their contribution may be unlimited or resistant, while others may enter the workforce as well. The outcome is higher productivity from millions of high-skilled Malaysians as well as considerable increase in people purchasing power and saving. And in the end, a major portion of our population has more demand and there are more investments to develop and build the economy. And that's all for me. I will pass to the next presenter.
In conclusion, Malaysia's poverty eradication efforts have always been linked to a rapid economic development and a pro-poor approach within a population and allocation development platform. This success was made possible by socio-political stability and government effort that never stopped. The fast development of the company has created a platform of high-paying job possibilities for the poor and lower-income groups in metropolitan regions, while agriculture modernization has enhanced production and contributed to the rural poor rising income. Other programs that had a high effect result included education and training, as well as entrepreneurship and microcredit. The effectiveness of poverty eradication was further aided by a multi-sectoral and comprehensive strategy, as well as complementary participation of NGOs and the business sector. The Malaysian government implemented those measures from 1970 to 2000 2010 in an attempt to alleviate the country's poverty concerns. Through all the policies implemented by the Malaysian government as well as private sector participation, they have attempted to reduce the prevalence of poverty through a variety of means. However, it does not completely represent the achievement that demonstrate the efficiency of this program in eradicating poverty. As a result, the Malaysian government is continuing to make a greater effort to address this poverty concern before 2020 in order to meet the aim of one of the country policies, Vision 2020.